Hey guys, this is Jay and Lily here. Welcome to the Pepper Patch. We're glad to have you. And I grow over 20 different species of pepper, and I've got 6 raised beds full of peppers and several pots and containers full of all sorts of different species of pepper. And we're going to go through those different species today. We're going to cover pepper and okra today. That's my dog Lily. So now this is one of my newer beds. I just started this bed, and you guys are gonna have to excuse my horrible paint job. I kind of got a little carried away with it, but anyway, this is a plant I just put in the other day. This is a daddle pepper, a hot daddle pepper, and they grow these in St. Augustine, Florida, about 30 minutes away from my house. I'm in the Jacksonville, Florida area. But it's a great plant, and now here we have a California Wonderful, and if you're wondering what that red plant is next to the pepper plant, that is a Joseph's coat from the story in the Bible of Joseph being sold into slavery by his brothers, and then working for the Pharaoh, and then getting the Technicolor dream coat. This plant is named after Joseph because it gets so many beautiful colors. And I didn't plant this plant in here. Somehow the seeds ended up in here, which is cool, and I'm glad to have that happen. But it's a beautiful plant, and the more you keep it out in the sun, changes from a pink to a yellow, greenish to a reddish, which is a tricolor, great looking plant. And we have several different species of peppers in here, and I'll get to some peppers. I know you guys are ready to see some. There's a habanero, and right over here we have a cool pepper. This is Mad Hatter, and to me, he looks just like a clown pepper. I can't really tell the difference between the two. I was going to buy a clown pepper, but this looks exactly the same. Now here's a really interesting, or a really cool species of pepper right here. And these peppers are maybe 10 to 11 inches long. And these are called longhorn peppers. And they're a cool pepper. And they change from green to red like all peppers. And they're just cool peppers. Really long. And here's a pepper I just recently put in within the last couple weeks. This is in Anaheim, and I love the color on this pepper. And I'm excited to have this pepper here because it's not too spicy and it's got a good green color to it. And I just really like this pepper right here. And we got a few zinnias growing in back here. Now let me get to a sneak peek for you guys of my big pepper plants and my big peppers. And these peppers right here aren't too big, but these are the Lola F1 banana sweet peppers. And these peppers are great, and these plants just get loaded with them. They're a great pepper, and I'll show you guys some truly huge peppers here in 1 second. But they're just, as you can see, this plant has them, and you just don't even know they're there. You just have to look up under them. This plant's known for hiding the peppers, and I don't know if you can see a few of them from here, but I can't wait to show you guys these. They're a great pepper, and they have all sorts of uses. Okay, now this is one of my established beds already. This is one of my big beds that's been growing since February or March, and these are Miracle Grow raised beds that I bought not too far from my house. No tools required to put these beds together, and they just work great, and it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to snap them together, and they're just a really good bed, and they've helped my peppers thrive. So right here we have Hall Fuego peppers, and these plants, some of them, as you can tell, are 4 feet tall, and they're absolutely full of Hall Fuegos. They're just going from the top to the bottom all the way down. And if you looked in the bottom left hand corner of the screen, I don't know if you can see it, that is a Hall Fuego that's starting to cork, and that's a good sign because it's going to reach maturity soon, and it's been out here, and it will mature from this green to red, And these jalapenos are a little bit hotter than jalapenos, I would say. They're actually pretty spicy peppers. And these plants are just full of peppers. And these are cool looking peppers. And they actually go from green sometimes to a darker greenish black, and then to the reddish color, which is great. And they're just all in here. There's a leaf stuck to this one. But, and yeah, these plants are just full of them. And you can see the flowers also. There's just tons of peppers. There's a pepper hiding back there. That's just great to see. I didn't realize there were so many flowers on it. But I've actually picked 6 bags of these kinds of peppers along with the Lolas this last week. So usually they would be even more full of these kind of peppers. And they just have a ton of peppers on them. They're great peppers. And here's something really cool I wanted to show you guys. Here is a little bell pepper and some flowers starting to form on this. I believe it's a golden bell pepper species. And I have some truly huge bell peppers on here that I will get to in 1 second. I just want to take time to make sure you guys can see these really good. And you guys can just see all the peppers hanging out right here. Another one that's corking, starting to cork a little bit. Don't have any red ones on here right now, but some of these jalapenos get to a pretty decent size. Here's another one starting to have the little corks in it. Which is cool. And these peppers are just coming right out of the bed out into the walkway, but that's okay. Too many peppers never hurt, right? And here we got some big old, I'll try to get a better picture of these guys. The one in the middle is a nice big juicy one. And I think these things look like Christmas tree lights, the big Christmas tree lights, the big fat ones, which I love. Sometimes I'll save a couple just because of the shape of them, which I really like. Reminds me of Christmas. I got some nice ones in here. The flowers everywhere. You guys can just see how many peppers are really on these things. And these things were just picked the other day. Now here we're getting into some of the Lola peppers again. And there are so many peppers in here that I'm going to really have to take my time showing you guys these, so we don't miss any. And they're just growing all throughout this plant. And we're about to get to some really big ones for you guys. We got at least 5 peppers just sitting right here. That's my dog barking. And here we go, guys. Here's some more. Oh, there's a long jalapeno right there. Something eating the leaf. But you guys can start to see that these things get pretty big, and I'll show you guys some truly just huge peppers. This is actually a medium-sized one. Here's a nice one right here. Pretty color out in the sun. And oops. Okay. Now here we go, guys. We're starting to get to some big ones here. I'll show you guys. That's a huge one right there. And that guy's starting to cork as well, it looks like. But yeah, these guys are just big and they just grow all throughout these pepper plants. And this thing right here is probably 2 inches wide, the width of the pepper, and the circumference or diameter of this pepper. I mean, there's no telling. And I'm trying to be careful with them so I don't twist them off the vine, the branch. But that's just huge. pepper is just huge. We got another pretty big one. These peppers are just happy to be here. And they're doing awesome. I'm really glad I bought them. Here's one of the tags for them, just in case anybody wants to know what species they are. Best for grilling. Okay. And now here's some real big ones we got, guys. Look at all those peppers. And look at the way they grow. They just grow all the way up and down the plant, and they just hang there. And there's so many you don't even know they're there. And these things are just great. Look at all those. Here's some really big ones. This guy is really big, and look at the indentions on this one. That is cool. That is really cool. And this guy over here next to him is the monster. And I'm trying to let him grow even bigger. That pepper's got to be almost 8 inches long, and it's huge. That's why I like these peppers so much, and they constantly, non-stop grow like this. I've had 7 or 8 drawers full, plastic drawers full of these peppers. I've had them for 4 or 5 months now, since February or March, and they have non-stop produced. I would have never in a million years imagined that this plant could produce so many peppers, and that's why I love this plant so much. Look at them all just hanging there. That's cool. And you gotta really check for them under the leaves. And there's one of the green ones back there. And they go from green to yellow to orange to red. And they're just everywhere in here. There's so many I can't take all the time to show you guys them. And right here are some grow bags I have. And the flowers growing out of the tops of them are zinnias. And these are 2nd generation zinnias. I bought the seeds and planted them, harvested the seeds, and then planted them again, all in this season, which is awesome to be here in Florida. We have non-stop, like almost just basically 2 seasons here. And these are really beautiful flowers. Everybody loves them, and they're just cool. Here's some real pretty ones coming up here. And I'm going to show you guys some of the bigger zinnias that I get right here. It's a beautiful flower. And they almost have, sometimes they have these little tiny flowers in the center of them as well. And if you're wondering what the vines are underneath them, I kind of did planted the zinnias on top of the bag so I could grow 2 things in one space. That's sweet potato vines, and these vines have just gone insane. They're just everywhere, as you can tell. Here's one of the grow bags down there, and I harvested some sweet potatoes not too long ago. Now this right here is one of my newer pepper beds as well. And what those other plants in there are okra. And I'll show you why I planted those in this area. But these peppers all in this bed, I started basically from seed. There's maybe 3 peppers in this bed that I did not start from seed. And we had some tree frogs and some lizards hanging out back here because I watered earlier. We got some Cajun thins getting their first peppers, or cayenne thins, getting some of their first peppers back here. We got some down there. I don't know if those are what kind of peppers those are. They could be Jalafuegos, or they could be La Bamba #2s, but I'm not sure. We got flowers back here, and these are the okra plants. These things are getting really big. That's a cool pepper plant. They're just cool little plants. Some flowers. That's a very cool plant. I like the leaves on it. The leaves are very cool, and I don't even know what species that is. Here's a daddle pepper, and this thing is getting kind of big, and it's starting to get some flowers on it, so I know it's going to be producing very soon, which is really cool. Okay. Now here's some really big plants, guys. Excuse me while I back up. These are spineless okras, and I bought these in a 4-pack from a garden center not too far away from my house. And these things have just produced the biggest okras and nonstop. They have the greatest flowers on them. The flowers are yellow and they open in the mornings. They have a purple center with this stamen that comes out, and they're just great. And the okra grows all the way up and down the plants. The taller the plant grows, they kind of grow up like leaves of cabbage, or leaves of lettuce. And I just harvested some today, but I'll try to find some to show you guys. There's a big cluster of the, let me move this out of the way. There's a big cluster of the buds and the leaves, and here's some of the smaller okras right there, which is cool. And these plants are almost 6 feet tall, and they got this big fairly quickly. And here's one of the flowers that they grow out of, and that flower will drop tomorrow morning, and that thing next to it, that's what it will be. It will be one of those, and you can kind of see the purple in there right now in that flower. And when it's opened, it's beautiful, but it's nighttime now, so they're closed. So here are some homegrown zinnias again. Here's a nice little white one, or a pinkish one. And here's another, here's the bigger Joseph's coat. You can see the beauty in this plant, all the colors it has, and sure is great to have this. And got some pepper seedlings. And now this bed right here I just harvested. This is my bell pepper bed, and you guys can start to see some flowers coming in. I just harvested my bell peppers, so I'm excited to see these flowers because I know that I'm about to have some more bell peppers. Now here's my ornamental pepper bed, and I built this just for decoration, for something to do. I was bored and I had some ornamental peppers, and I bought these and threw them in. And it's kind of crazy because actually I don't know, there's 3 different kinds of ornamental peppers in here, and I don't know any of their names. 3 different species, but I thought the purple one was a purple flash pepper, but it's actually not. But I'll give you guys a close-up. This plant's beautiful. The leaves are purple, and the flowers are even purple on it. And the peppers start off purple, and they go from a yellow to an orange to a red. And they non-stop produce peppers. This thing will be loaded with peppers. And here's one of the purple ones right here. And they go to a lighter color like the one next to it, and then they just start turning yellow. And as you can see, there's some red ones down there also. And it's a beautiful ornamental pepper, and I love this plant. Right over here is actually one of its seedlings that I started, and you can see some of the purple flowers on it. Beautiful plant. Got a shade of green in it. And some more Joseph's coat. And all this Joseph's coat just popped up on its own. But this is an ornamental pepper plant, and this baby's only about 3 inches tall, but it gets these great little tiny peppers on them. And I actually had these on a pizza, and they were kind of good, but I don't think you're supposed to eat them because they're ornamental, but they're just a great pepper, and I really like this pepper. Next to it, we have a voodoo lily, and this thing grows into a corpse flower. And I didn't even know that. Next to it, we have another ornamental, and this thing grows little berries-like things on it. And sure has some pretty looking peppers on it. Right now, some of them are kind of wrinkly because they're old and they need to be pruned off. But it's a tricolored, and it has several different color peppers on it. It's a beautiful plant. And right here we have some spider plants, and I actually built this cross. I wanted to show you guys. I just built this out of some bamboo, and some rope, and I threw a couple plaques on there, some garden signs from the Dollar Tree on there. I think somebody might need to see this sign, but good sign to have, guys. Cool little cross I built. Here's some more Lolas we have. I'll try to be slow about this. I don't want the camera to be shaky. Some long Cajun Thins. We got a bunch of those on here. Now here's one of my favorite plants, and I'll try to get a good view of it. That's a Trinidadian scorpion pepper, and that's one of the top 10 hottest peppers in the world. And it's got this beautiful fruit on them. They start off green, and they go to orange, and they have that stinger-like tail. And as you can see, the progression of the fruit going to a cool reddish color. And it's a beautiful wide plant. And I'll show you guys some of the really dark ones here. There's one. And this plant, this seed pod here, this pepper pod, I really like because it doesn't have a stinger on it, and it's more unique actually. So that's cool. Here's a little baby Trinidadian scorpion. I figured that the big one's so beautiful, this guy will grow right up into this guy. So I'll be happy to have him. It's getting really dark out here. Here's a wild coffee plant. I'm pretty sure this grows somewhere in the jungle. I bought this at a local nursery. It's a beautiful shrub, little plant to have, and I'm glad I bought them. Put them in the ground, and let me show you guys some of the coffee beans on them. Those little circle things are the coffee beans. I'm trying to get a good view of it before it gets too rainy. And this thing attracts non-stop pollinators. I've never seen a plant like it that attracts pollinators the way this one does. Here's my olive tree right here. And these peppers right here in the seed casings are actually the Aloha pepper seedlings. And I'll get into that one on another one. In Europe, they're known as the Enjoy pepper. But those are some seedlings I started that are getting their first true leaves. And here's I'm not sure what species of pepper this is, but this thing is so loaded down with peppers that I've had to stake it a bunch of times. And if anybody knows what species of pepper this is, I would really appreciate it to know. But it's got these great peppers on them. And I saw this pepper online earlier today. I would know the name of it. But I gotta kind of hurry this video up, guys. Here we have, it's getting really dark and about to pour. Here we have some daddle peppers right here, and they're starting to get some of their first fruit, which are really cool. And right here is another one of my favorite plants, and this is a big plant. This is a ghost pepper, and I can't wait for it to get bigger. It gets hopefully about another foot bigger than this. And this is another one of the world's hottest peppers. The Trinidadian scorpion over there has 2 million Scoville units, and this has, I think, about 1 million, maybe a little over. And here's the fruit pods on him, which are really awesome to see. He's got a couple. And there's some of the big old okras and those again. Here's a quick view of my peppers. Here's some more Lolas. Those things are just hidden all in this thing. And these things, these big peppers can be hidden. You wouldn't even know they were there unless you looked for them. They just hide perfectly under this plant, and it helps them get protected from the sun. Some more daddles. You can see some of the plants on here. It's a cool little shaped plant. I hope my plants are going to be okay. I got a pot knocked over there. It's getting really dark out here, and these pine trees are just swaying. So, hope my garden's going to be okay. And oh man, that looks horrible. Maybe we got something coming down here. But cool little shaped plant. I had to take this plant out of my raised bed because I didn't have enough room. Some of these plants have recently been transplanted, and these are golden admiral sweet peppers. And I can't wait to see these come. These are a bell pepper that I've been wanting to see grow. There's a red bell, and these are just starting off their life. And this plant right here, I think this is a long cayenne thin, but the fruit on it is so big that I'm not sure. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and God bless you, and hope to see you guys again on another video. Bye.